All right. First off, I got my Nickelodeon shirt on. Avatar the Last Airbender. The Cave of Two Lovers. The first thing I feel like about this episode is that it's about the iconic traveling band, obviously, with Secret Tunnel. That's the first thing. Sokka's comedic annoyance with this group. And the next thing is a combination of three factors that I think define this episode. The first being it being a filler episode. There are many filler episodes that people talk about. Um, and the good thing about filler episodes for this show is that the filler episodes drive character development, which ties to driving the plot forward. And this episode does that completely. Second thing would be there's two different parts where it's Avatar Aang and the gang, Katara and Sokka. And then it's Zuko and Iroh as Mushi and Junior. And those two things are like what they're the whole episode, and I get it. The whole episode gets focused on the Cave of Two Lovers and the Secret Tunnel and Aang and Katara's relationship. But what happens for Zuko and Iroh is equally important, in my opinion, because you get this connection to Zuko and his relationship with the Fire Nation and him starting to see how the nation that he loves and he wants to get back to and get back in good graces with his father in is causing damage and harm to other nations, the other nations, the other places, and the other people. And the woman's song in this episode represents Zuko seeing that not only has his nation caused him harm, but it's caused other nations harm. Like when the line where she's like, the Fire Nation has hurt you. You're like, oh, Zuko. It really had, like, look at his face. I mean, and so you have this development where you get to understand Zuko's relationship with his own nation and his father, and him starting to see what his father's doing and what his family's been doing. And at the end of the episode for them, he still reverts back to his own poor decision making at this time. But that's all a part of the show developing the buildup of his dynamic with his father. So that's understandable. And then in the cave, you have two things going on. You have Katara and Aang, and you have their relationship, and pretty much Aang just screwing up his opportunity to get a kiss with a Katara, honestly. And then you have Sokka and his ingenuity and the connection with the Badger Moles. He uses the Badger Moles as a part of his ingenuity, understanding that they like music, which ends up connecting to the Legend of Korra and Prince Wu, where he uses music to seduce the Badger Moles. I mean, I'm not going to give too much spoilers. I'll get into it later. But that's pretty much the dynamic of this whole episode. You have Aang and the gang going to the caves, where you have Katara and Aang's relationship developing a little bit, and then you have Sokka, and you get to see more of his ingenuity, and you get a later reference to the importance of the Badger Moles, along with, not to mention Prince Wu, but with Toph, and how she uses the Badger Moles to learn, and how it connects to the eventual episode where Aang and Zuko have to learn to master firebending from the ultimate sources of firebending, which connects to the Badger Moles and to Toph. So you have all that connection, all that foreshadowing, and that's that all wrapped up there behind the Cave of Two Lovers. And then you have Zuko and Iroh as Mushi and Junior, which has good comedic moments. Iroh drinking the white jade bush because he wanted some tea, if I'm not mistaken, and then that's what leads to them being in the situation they're in. And you have that connection to Zuko and the Fire Nation and him realizing what's going on and developing that plot line. And this is my first video, so I know it's haphazard and it's not perfect. But I'm probably going to stick with it. I'm going to post it. This is in honor of the first person who commented on my first video about doing stuff in the Avatar universe. So I hope you guys like it.